I'm sure you felt like you were stuck in a loop trying to keep someone's attention all the time. But here's the catch. The more you try, the further they pull away. That's why today we're going to flip the script by using the timeless power of Stoic wisdom to show you how to attract without trying too hard. Welcome to the Stoic approach to becoming a magnetic force. In this video, we'll talk about how embracing Stoicism can change your relationships. Whether you're trying to rekindle an old flame, start something new, or strengthen a bond that has been broken, the key isn't to chase. It's to become a source of unwavering strength and stability that draws people in. Imagine being so rooted in your Stoic values that others are naturally drawn to you, not because of your despair, but because of your calm, quiet confidence. Today you'll learn how to cultivate this Stoic magnetism and make it work for you in any relationship. Click the like button if you're ready to stop chasing and start drawing. Follow the channel and turn on alerts to make sure you don't miss learning how to make things look easy. Charm, let's dive in. Number 1, release your fears. Let's kick things off with the ultimate game-changer release. The fear. If you're looking to become a true magnet and draw people toward you effortlessly, this is where it starts. Imagine stepping into any situation, relationship, or interaction without that gnawing anxiety holding you back. Sound freeing? That's because it is fear cripples you, making you second guess every move, every word, every action. It turns you into a people pleaser, someone so desperate for approval that you lose sight of who you really are. Think about this. You're getting to know someone new, and the fear kicks in. What if they don't like me back suddenly? You're overthinking everything, bombarding them with texts, trying too hard to be perfect. The irony, that very fear you're holding onto so tightly is the thing pushing them away. It's like holding sand. Grip it too hard and it slips through your fingers now. What happens when you let go of that fear, when you stop obsessing over what others think or whether they'll stick around? You become calm, confident, and unapologetically you stop chasing. People will naturally start coming to you for approval once you let go of your fears. You'll go from someone looking for approval to a beacon of power when you're sure of who you are. But wait, you might say, fear isn't real. It's how you think about a situation that makes you afraid. Remember what Epictetus said? Men aren't troubled by things, but by how they think about them. The next time you feel afraid, maybe your partner seems distant, or you're worried about someone pulling away, don't act out of fear. Instead, ask yourself what you're really afraid of. Most of the time it's rejection or being alone. But the truth is that these fears only exist in your head. They don't have to. Define your actions. If you're in a relationship and your partner starts acting detached, your fear might tell you to double down. Give them all the attention you can, and do anything to keep them around. But that's just your fear talking. Instead, try letting go and focusing on your own growth. That when you're happy, you're not chasing. You're radiating confidence, and that's magnetic. Fear makes people needy, and nothing is less beautiful than neediness. Confidence, on the other hand, makes people want to be with you. Imagine walking into a room. Someone who moves through it with calm, effortless self-confidence immediately commands attention, while someone who is fidgety and looking for approval is pushed away. That's the power of letting go of fear. When you stop needing other people to confirm your worth, you become someone worth noticing. And here's the kicker. People are more interested in you when you don't need their approval. It seems counterintuitive, but it works. The Stoics were right. We suffer more in our minds than in real life. The worst things you think rarely happen, so why waste time worrying about them? As soon as you let go of your fears, you step into your true power. You no longer need any approval from other people because you live with confidence, and that confidence brings the right people into your life, people who love you for who you are. You stop chasing and start attracting. That's the Stoic secret. If you want to be magnetic, stop chasing and let the world come to you. Accept yourself as you are and watch how the universe responds. Before we move on to the next point, let's take a moment to think about what we've already talked about. Letting go of fear is powerful, but it's not always easy. You have to be self-aware and commit to putting your own needs ahead of other people's. How does this message resonate with you? Have you noticed times when fear held you back or made you look for approval? If you agree, leave a comment below and share your thoughts. If you feel this deeply, just type, "I release my fear" to affirm and join the conversation. Your voice matters, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Number 2. Do your best, and then let it go, my fellow grim warriors. You face your fears and embrace your inner beauty, but there's one more important thing you need to do to really live by Stoic ideals. Give it your all and then let it go. This isn't a fluff piece of advice. It's important. Put your whole heart and soul into what you're doing, but don't stress out about things you can't change. You're doing everything you can to show your best self, whether you're trying to win someone's love or you're in a relationship that feels unstable. But here's the catch. You're not really showing up in the ways that matter. If you can't stop thinking about whether they feel the same way, you'll be anxious. It's like making the perfect cake but worrying that it won't turn out right while it's baking, no matter how well you mix the ingredients. All that worry takes away from the fun of the process, which is why it's important to give it your all and then step back. Sage Seneca said it so well. If you're waiting for things to happen, you'll waste today. You've done the work, you've shown up fully, and now it's time to let go of what you think will happen. No amount of stress or force can change what's already set in motion. When you let go of the need for a certain outcome, you let things happen the way they're supposed to. That's when your magnetic power really shines. If you try to force something, it will feel more out of place. For example, trying to reignite a spark in a relationship can go wrong if you're too focused on controlling every moment. The harder you try to be perfect, the more pressure there is to be perfect. Pressure on the other person, and before you know it, that pressure could make them want to leave. Instead, plan the perfect date and focus on doing your best and being fully present. Bring your best self and be sure of yourself. But once you've done that, let go of the need to control how the other person responds. You can't change how they feel, but you can change how you present yourself, and that's where the magic is. Stoicism isn't about not caring, it's about caring wisely. It teaches us to be fully involved in what we do, but not to be controlled by the results. You can control how hard you work and then let the chips fall where they may. It's like planting a seed. You can water it, make sure it gets sunshine, and care for it, but you can't make it grow. It's the same in relationships, at work, and in life. You take care of what's important, and then let nature take its course. When you start to think this way, interesting things start to happen. People start to notice your calm, confident energy. You're no longer frantically chasing results. You're not desperate or anxious. Instead, you radiate self-confidence, happy in the knowledge that you've done your best, and that, my friends, is magnetic. People naturally like people who aren't trying to control every little thing in their lives. You'll look better just by being okay with what is. How do you put this into practice? Start your day with the mantra, "I control my actions, not the results." The next time you find yourself worrying about whether someone will answer your message or how a date will go, tell yourself, "I've given it my all. Now I let it be." Focus on the process, not the result. At first, this may seem strange because we're naturally driven to care about outcomes. But that's the beauty of Stoicism. When you let go after doing your best, you find a deep sense of peace. You'll realize that worrying about the outcome doesn't change it. It just takes away the joy you could be experiencing right now. As the great Marcus Aurelius said, you have control over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you'll feel strong. Your strength comes from knowing that doing your best is enough. Let the rest happen naturally. If you let go of perfection, you'll find a whole new kind of freedom. Let me ask you this. How can anyone respect your time if you don't value it yourself? Your time is the most valuable thing you have. Once it's gone forever. So why waste it on people who don't see it? Let's be honest. We've all been there, glued to our phones waiting for that text, changing our plans to fit someone else's, or worse, just sitting there hoping to be noticed. So not only are you not managing your time well, you're also giving someone your time when they don't deserve it. What if you chose to use that time to improve yourself instead of waiting? Learn more or follow an interest that lights you up. You up inside. When you do this, you give off a quiet confidence that lets everyone know you won't waste time on things that don't matter. This is how you become someone people admire, someone whose time is valuable and not easily given away. If you treated your time like a VIP ticket to the most exclusive event of the year, you wouldn't give it to just anyone. You'd save it for people who really understand how valuable it is. When you treat your time as priceless, people will notice and know that they have to value it just as much as you do in order to be in your life. Marcus Aurelius said it best, "A man should not fear death but should fear never beginning to live." Stop waiting for other people to decide if you're worth their time. Start living your life to the fullest right now. Spend your time wisely, and watch as people start to see how valuable you are when you're not around. It's clear that being a part of your life is a gift, not a right. So how do you start valuing your time? Set limits and don't do anything extra for people who only give you brief care. Instead, put your energy into things that make you happy, help you grow, and make you feel satisfied. People who really want to be in your life will respect these boundaries and put in the same amount of effort as you. If setting these boundaries feels awkward at first, remember that it's about self-respect. You can't expect others to respect your time if you don't respect it yourself. You won't have the calm, magnetic energy of a Stoic if you're always available to everyone. People are drawn to people who value themselves and aren't afraid to say no to things that don't fit their priorities. Now, really think about this idea. What are you doing with your time? Are you wasting it or putting it toward things that really matter? Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below and tell me how you're going to set priorities for your time from now on. If this message speaks to you, just type, "I respect my time" in the comments. Your time is valuable, and the moment you start treating it that way, things change. Let's keep talking about this and build a group of people who value themselves and their time. Number 4. Imagine yourself thriving. Let's look at one of the most powerful but little-known ways to become magnetic and imagine yourself winning. You might be thinking that imagining yourself winning sounds too easy, but stay with me because this step is not only important, it's life-changing. Why is the idea of imagining yourself winning such a game so essential? Share. Let me explain. Picture this. You're about to go on an important event, like a first date, a conversation with someone you're interested in, or even an attempt to bring back the spark in a relationship that's dying. What's the first thing that goes through your mind? Doubts like, what if this goes badly? And what if I look stupid? Start to creep in, and before you know it, you're picturing things falling apart. Here's the deal. Your thoughts create your reality. This isn't just motivational nonsense, it comes from the ancient knowledge of the Stoics. Epictetus famously said, "We are what we repeatedly think." If your mind is full of failure or rejection, you're training yourself to act from a place of fear, which turns people off. But let's change the script. What if, instead of getting ready for bad things to happen, you start picturing everything going your way? Picture yourself going into that situation with complete faith. As you speak clearly and show off your best self, you can see them responding with smiles, feeling engaged, and truly enjoying your company. Imagining success doesn't just make you feel better, it also sets the stage for how you'll actually do it. Your mind and body will follow the path your thoughts make. It may seem impossible, but hear me out. When you picture yourself succeeding, you prepare your mind for that reality. Small setbacks won't bother you as much because you'll feel like you've already practiced for this moment. You're calm, you're in charge. But let's be honest, it's not always easy to picture yourself winning, especially if you tend to doubt yourself. That's okay. So how do you make visualization work when it seems impossible? How do you use it to your advantage when it feels forced? If picturing everything going correctly makes you feel too stressed, start small. Focus on one positive thing at a time. For example, picture yourself walking into a room with confidence or hearing laughter during your conversation. Over time, these small victories will add up, and soon it will feel natural. You're training your brain to expect success instead of dreading failure. Now here's the cool part. When you visualize success, you start radiating confidence. You stop trying to please others and don't feel the need to try too hard. Instead, people are drawn to you, mesmerized by your calm and sure presence. This is what makes you truly irresistible. If you think about the last time you met someone who just seemed cool and confident without trying to prove anything, that person was magnetic. That's the power of visualizing success. You don't need anyone else to confirm your worth because you've already done it in your mind. You've seen it, felt it, and now you're living it. This isn't just true in one-on-one conversations. It also works in relationships. When you imagine yourself succeeding, you naturally act in ways that lead to success. Let's go back to the Stoic theory for a moment. Marcus Aurelius said that the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. When you imagine yourself thriving, you're improving the quality of your thoughts, which in turn affects your actions. You'll find that you're more emotionally stable, no longer driven by fear or desperation, but by a calm, steady confidence. And that's irresistibly appealing. So picture it, feel it, and then watch as it becomes real. 5. Don't let your thoughts get the best of you. One of the most important things you can do to show strength and confidence is to control your emotions. When your emotions get the best of you, it's easy to lose your cool, and trust me, people can tell when you're not in control, which can make them shy away. On the other hand, when you stay in balance, you give off a sense of power, calmness, and quiet confidence that draws people in. Think about how relationships make you feel. A message that hasn't been read makes you feel jealous. Feeling upset creeps in when things don't go as planned, or anxiety takes over when someone seems distant. These feelings are normal. We're all human. But if you don't control these emotions, they can leave you to act in ways that create distance rather than connection. Every impulsive reaction can make things feel chaotic, and chaos isn't attractive. Now imagine taking a different approach. When emotions start to rise, instead of reacting immediately, you take a moment to pause. This simple pause is where the power lies. You acknowledge the feelings, take a deep breath, and let the emotions pass without taking any rash action. This is the essence of Stoicism. Mastering your emotions instead of being mastered by them. In doing so, you become a source of stability. And people gravitate toward that. As Seneca put it, "He who is brave is free." This doesn't mean you suppress emotions, but rather you manage them wisely. True courage is found in controlling how you respond to life's events. This gives you freedom. Freedom from being at the mercy of every external trigger. You become that solid foundation others look to for reassurance amidst life's storms. How can you begin to do this? Start your day by being more mindful. The next time your emotions start to rise, don't respond right away. Instead, take a moment to ask yourself, is this worth upsetting my peace? Most of the time, the answer will be no. By stopping every so often, you'll get into the habit of emotional mastery in no time. Don't worry if this seems hard at first. It's a skill that gets better with practice. Every time you control an emotional urge, you strengthen your ability to stay calm under pressure. Remember that people are deeply drawn to those who can handle themselves with emotional intelligence and poise, especially in intense situations. Before we move on to the next insight, I want to hear from you. How do you handle your emotions in tough situations? Do you have any strategies that help you stay calm? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below if you agree with the message of emotional mastery. If you want to keep the conversation going, just type, "I control my peace." Your ideas might inspire someone else. Now let's move on to the 6th and final important lesson. Develop a distant point of view. The point isn't to become cold or uninterested in the people and things around you. People now think about this. Detachment in its purest form means freeing yourself from the mental chains that connect your happiness to outside events. How often do you base your mood and sense of satisfaction on what other people say or do, or on how things turn out? If you base your happiness on things you can't control, you'll be anxious and let down. It's like being glued to your phone, waiting for that message, or worrying about what will happen in a situation you can't change. Being in a steady state of anticipation is draining, and people are less likely to want to be around you because of it. You end up following instead of being strong in your own energy and letting people and things come to you. This is where Detach changes things. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about breaking the habit of basing your happiness on how other people respond. While you still care and put in effort, the results no longer control you. To help you understand this, imagine you're a gardener. You prepare the soil, plant the seeds, water them, and make sure they get sunlight. After that, there's nothing else you can do. You can't make the seeds sprout. You've done your part, and now you have to let nature take its course. It wouldn't make sense to worry about every seed every minute of every day. Instead, you trust the process. That's exactly what detachment is like. You do your best and then let go of the need to control what happens next. Epicus, a Stoic philosopher, said it best: do the best you can with what you have and let the rest happen. He's telling you to focus on the things you can change, like your actions and reactions, and not worry about the results that are out of your control. When you learn to adopt this way of thinking, you stop being emotionally unstable, because you're not attached to things you can't change. Your inner peace and confidence become magnetic, drawing people to you because they can tell you're sure of yourself and not looking for approval or validation. So how do you start building this practice of detachment? Focus on the work you're doing instead of the results at first. Focus on your work, relationships, and goals, but don't worry too much about how things will turn out. It doesn't matter if someone likes you or not, or if you get what you want. Your worth is still the same, and it doesn't depend on how others react. Take your mind off the result and you'll find seventh. Be free, stay stable, and have a quiet power that will make you more peaceful and attractive to those around you. Develop a thankful attitude. You may be thinking what this has to do with making yourself more attractive to other people. Not only does being grateful change the way you think, it also changes the way you feel. When you focus on what you have instead of what you don't have, you naturally give off positive energy that draws people to you without even trying. Imagine you're at a social event. Who would you prefer to spend time with? Someone who's constantly complaining about everything they don't have, like enduring an endless rant about bad music, or someone who's fully enjoying the moment, appreciating the company, and soaking in the vibe? It's obvious, right? That person who embodies gratitude shares a kind of joy that everyone around them feels. Now picture this. You're trying to catch someone's attention, but instead of worrying about whether they notice you, you're busy appreciating the people already in your life, savoring fun moments and embracing every chance the present gives you. You're no longer chasing approval because you found contentment within. And here's the kicker: that's exactly when others start to notice you. Take it from Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, who said true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. When you live with gratitude, you live in the moment. You stop stressing over things that haven't happened, or people who may come and go. You develop a mindset of abundance, and that feeling of fullness is magnetic. So how can you make gratitude a part of your daily life? Start small every day. Think of 3 things you're thankful for, no matter how small they may seem. Over time, you'll notice a change. Your mood will improve, your mind will calm down, and you'll feel more connected to the good things around you. It may feel awkward at first, but like any muscle, gratitude gets stronger with use. Keep at it, and you'll see how it changes your life and how appealing you are to others. Before we go on, let's take a moment to think about the power of gratitude. If you've ever stopped focusing on what's missing and started appreciating what's already here, you know how transformative it can be. Let us know what you think. Feel free to share your experiences in the comments section below, or just type, "Gratitude is my magnet," if this message speaks to you. Your thoughts might help someone else adopt a grateful attitude as well. We've come a long way and learned many useful things. Now we've reached a turning point. Take a deep breath and let everything we've talked about really sink in. This is where all the pieces we've put together come together to form something powerful. You have the tools, strategies, and mindset to become your best self. Now it's time to internalize these lessons and make them a part of who you are. Imagine making the perfect dish. You spend time carefully adding each ingredient, making sure every detail is perfect. You wouldn't rush to serve it right away. You'd let it rest so the flavors could blend and deepen. That's exactly what you're doing now. There is no quick way to become a Stoic draw. It takes time, but trust me, once you let these teachings sink in, people will notice and be drawn to your calm and confident energy. You won't have to try to convince them. Instead, they'll be drawn to your calm and confident energy. Remember what Epicus said? No great thing is created suddenly. Your journey toward becoming a Stoic magnet takes time. You've put in the hard work of letting go of fears, valuing your time, and mastering your thoughts. Now it's time to let these changes take root in your daily life. What if you hit a bump? That's normal. It's okay. The key is to recognize when you slip and gently guide yourself back to the Stoic principles you've learned. Each time you do this, you reinforce those habits. To really let it all sink in, be patient. You've planted the seeds of confidence, self-worth, and emotional strength. Let them grow. Remind yourself every day of the progress you've made, and trust that the process is going exactly as it should. Over time, you'll see a change in how other people see you, but more importantly, how you see yourself. As we wrap up today's journey into the Stoic way of living, remember the true essence of attracting rather than chasing. By cultivating the calm, magnetic energy we've talked about, you'll become a source of stability and confidence that draws others to you. It's about letting go of your fears, valuing yourself, and being a peaceful presence that people are drawn to without force. Thank you for being a part of this life-changing event. Please click the like button and subscribe for more inspiring videos if this one has changed your mind or given you hope. Don't forget to turn on alerts so you never miss our new insights. Now I want to hear from you. Have you seen any changes in your relationship since you started following Stoic principles? How has the idea of drawing instead of chasing changed the way you talk to people? Let's keep this interesting conversation going by leaving your ideas in the comments. Please rate this video on a range from 1 to 5, with 1 being the worst and 5 being the best. This will let us know how we're doing. Also, before you leave, make sure to watch the videos suggested on the screen for more wisdom and useful tips on how to improve your life with Stoicism. Learn more about how to master the art of life and how to deal with the problems you face every day. Remember that the path to becoming a Stoic magnet is a continuous one, and each step brings you closer to a more balanced and sure of yourself version of yourself. Keep going, keep thinking, and let your Stoic energy shine until next time. Keep drawing people to you with grace and knowledge.